Hello and welcome. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to play Chamber on ASCENT. We're going to be talking about his TPs, his alarm bots, and when to, in general, play aggressive on him. Some cool setups that you can run on this character. I think the Chamber is very, very good on this map, especially for opping. I think this is one of his stronger maps for opping. The off angles that you can take with his op on this map using the TPs are very, very strong, and you can get yourself a lot of kills, a lot of space, a lot of good damage, especially on defense. So let's hop right into it. All right, we're going to be starting out on the defense side of ASCENT, and we're going to be starting with the B bomb sites. First things first, we're going to do tripwires. Standard tripwire. Again, I've talked about it before, but you want like your tripwire to be as deep as possible because you want the edge of this circle to still be in the door frame, and the deeper it is, the harder it is for them to peek out the entrance and see it. They have to expose more of their body. This trip's really good. You can do a trip like this if you want to just throw them off and maybe catch them as they're coming out. If you want to guard for stairs aggression, you can put a trip right here and it will cover this area, like around here. As you can see, you can't see it from here. When they come out and they try and push lane and they try and go stairs, they will get caught by this trip. More passive trip that you can throw is I like to put something like under this, so when they try and jump out the lane, they get caught by it. You can also just put something just right below them so that if you are playing in this back site area here, you can wait for them to jump off the lane, get tagged by your slow, peek out, get a kill, and then you can either have like a TP set up here and CT, or you could do something where you play an aggressive first angle right here. Let me just use this as my op since I already have a rifle. But you could play like an aggressive first angle here, hold like this, get a kill, TP back sight, and now you have your second trip in the back line in order to play off of, get yourself another kill. Maybe you're posted on this, they've run out lane, you kill one more, you unpeek and you just hold and you let the bot delay for you or something like that. Like I said in the previous video, it's very, very important that when you're playing Chamber, you think of defense in like terms of front line and back line. You have like your first setup that you're playing off of based on your TP, right? Or you have like an aggressive angle that you're fighting off your TP and maybe some other teammate's utility, and then you have your back line that you're playing off of your tripwires. So my front line would be up here if I'm playing here. Say I have like a Sova dart for me or like shock dart off the rip in order to zone them back so they can't just run at me. So like this would be my front line, and then when I TP to back sight and I play off this second one of these trips, this is my back line. It's very, very productive to think about Chamber in that way. It lets you get the most out of his utility. You're using a different teammate's utility, maybe something that's renewable like a Sova dart or a sky flash in order to get the early first pick, and then you use your TP. 20 seconds later you can use it again and you're playing off of the back line with your bots. You could even do something, it really depends on if they're rushing, but again, I talked about this in the last video, where if you can set your TP up in a spot that it like anchors, right? Say like you push up, you get a kill here, you TP out, you pull this one back, and if you can run back into sight before the rush is coming, then you can get back set up. You can have another TP set up that gets you also back to a safe spot. It's very, very useful to think about Chamber like that. He's very, very versatile sentinel, and he has a lot of control and a lot of fragging power across the map. Next, we'll be talking about mid real quick. The most standard mid trip that you're going to see is just this. This covers all of mid. They have to fully peek to break it. If it looks like they're breaking that tripwire a lot and like they're shock darting it at the start of every round and you get literally no use out of it, you can switch it up to doing something like this, but you need to be paying attention to the CT walkthrough. Or if you just want to guard the CT walkthrough and you have somebody who's watching market, and you can do it back here in CT spawn. But like for the most part, in 90% of my rank games, I'll be throwing this trip like every single round, whether I'm playing the A bomb site or the B bomb site. It really doesn't matter. All right, let's talk about tripwires on A. Chamber's trap wires are not super creative. Like you can do some cool stuff with them, but for the most part, you're throwing the same thing every round because like they cover such a wide area with this circle that like you really don't have to be too crazy with them. Like I can put one all the way back here and it covers if they peek out a cat, and like they have to fully expose their body in order to shoot this. So you can do something like this to hold your cat. If you want really, really early info, like right when they're peeking, like you can put one right here. It'll get broken every time pretty much, but at least you'll have super early info. You won't have like this where they can sort of like peek up and like fight somebody who's playing here before the tripwire gets them. So it really depends on how early info you want. If you want to fight off of cat, you can put a tripwire down the second the barrier drops, and they won't see the little tracer on the back of the tripwire. It'll just go over here, and then you can just play cat, peek off of it. Maybe you have like a TP setup going to get you back into heaven or something like that, so you can support your teammates in main. and play aggressive off your tripwire just like that. For the A bomb site, for the actual bomb site itself, you can switch it up. If you're putting it over there a lot, you can do that. If you're putting, or like you put it on either side. Typically over here is probably better because if they peek up cat, they can see this one and break it from cat before they come up door, you know? This one's sort of the better one if you can, but if you have full cat control and you're fighting for cat, you can put it on this side. Other tripwires that I like to do, you can do something, you can do like cheeky ones, like stuff that they probably won't break when they're running into sight. So you can put one behind generator, or I like to put one behind dice. And you know, I could either like, I can play something like I put a trip in pizza, or I put a trip in pizza and then I put a trip in dice and then I play under sight. This would be a very, very passive setup, but I play under sight in this would be like more of a retake setup where I just sort of sit here, I hold for the generator swing or for my tripwire to go off, I peek out, get one kill, and then TP out and just try and stay alive the best I can. But again, not super, no crazy tripwires on defense. Chamber's pretty basic in that way. You know, his tripwire is very, very strong. As for the attack side for guarding flanks, you can throw something like this, or if you want to guard for top mid flank, if you're, say you're actually fighting an A main and you know that you're going to go A, if you know you're ending A, say it's like an A rush, you can put a trip like this, or you can put a, actually no, this one would be bad because they could come through spawning and sneak it, or you could put a trip like this. So you can do one of these two to hold for the flank if you know that you're going to end A. This trip's good for if you know that you're just playing default or something, or you can put a trip like this. If you're playing default, this will cover if they push through a main, but it will also catch anybody if they push up top mid. They'll have to either shoot this, or if it's a jet or an Astra, they can smoke it off. But most of the time, you're gonna get the value out of this, and you're gonna get the info out of it. For B, very, very basic stuff over here as well. You put something over here, or you can put it in the corner right here. And then if you know you're going B fast, you can just put one right here, and this will hold your tiles flank. If you're going fast B, this way you can't get quick flank. Attack side trips are pretty simple. You just need to make sure that you're throwing them every single round so that you do not get flanked. All right, let's talk about some TP setups that you can do and some stuff that you can do in order to be aggressive on the attack side. So the barrier right here on this bomb site is like right here. So I like to do something where put a trip right here if I'm going to play for aggressive A main, and then I'll put my second anchor trip somewhere safe that I can get out to. So preferably like heaven here, but I would put one like right here. And then what I can do is, it's very similar to like the jet, where the jet would just cross like this at the start of the round. You can hold this wide angle, get a kill, TP out. But like the thing that's important to remember with Chamber is like you can TP from anywhere in this giant circle radius. So you can play angles that are just like dumb that a jet couldn't play. Like if a jet's gonna play here, it has to play in this like this space right here so that he can dash to the side and get out. But a chamber can do something dumb. Chamber could like come over here and crouch in front of the stair right here and just still play in the TP. A chamber could play like, I'm not saying this is a good angle or that I would play it, but a chamber could like op like right here and post on A main like this, get a kill, TP out, boom, he's in heaven. The TP is very, very, very strong for playing off angles with ops. It's very, very hard to clear a chamber if like if your util's getting broken by supporting teammates that he has and he's sitting in a weird off angle with an op. It's very, very difficult to deal with him. He almost always will get one and TP out. So that's why he's probably one of the best oppers in the game right now, him and Jet. And the reason in pro play why you see Chamber getting played over Jet now is because of the oppressiveness of Astra. Astra is super strong and you can't really get past her sucks with Jet anymore. Like they'll just stall out your push. Like sure you can dash past, but your teammates aren't going to get out of the choke point, so you can't really support your Jet. So there's no point in playing Jet, because even if she dashes out of the bomb site and she gets all that space, she has nobody there to capitalize off of it with her. So now teams have adapted this very, very, very slow default playstyle. It's why every pro game that you've watched in VCT recently has been like every round comes down to like the last 20 seconds, is because people have to deal with Astra's utility. And Chamber's better for playing slow because he offers more utility than Jet. In an Astra dominated game, Chamber is definitely the better opper right now. A couple more TP setups. Something I like to do is just like some trickery stuff. You know, if I have an op, I'll put a TP up there and I'll put a TP down here. At the start of the round, I'll play from up here. I'll get a kill. I'll TP down lower, and then they think I TP out, and like they'll think that their brains are messing with them because I was just up there, but then I hit him from the lower angle and I kill him here and I just sort of fight to death. It's very, very good with his ult, because his ult op just shoots so fast that you can really just one by one kill everybody. It's not like a regular op where you sort of have to reposition and space in between shots. With this, you can just crank it out like it's a machine gun. Definitely one of the best ults in the game right now. Let's talk about some more aggressive TPs. We talked about playing like off of a trip cat here. I like to fight a main, you know, if you can sneak into wine, you can set up a TP in wine, and then you can have your placement TP back there. Also, if you want to spread utility, like at the starts of rounds, what you can do is you can drop TPs before the round starts, right? So like, say I want to put a TP on the A bomb site and or not a TP, a trip. Say I want to put a trip on the A bomb site and the B bomb site. And I would put my TP down and spawn as far as I could. I would run over here. I would put my little tripwire down, and then I put my second TP down, teleport back into spawn, and then run over to the B bomb site before the barrier goes down. I can put a tripwire in front of B main, and then boom, I can pick between the two sites that I want to play. Or maybe like I can do this, I can put a trip A, I can put a trip B, and then I can play mid. So I'll put my TP here, and then I'll put a TP down here, and I'll play bottom mid, and I'll try and fight bottom mid, get a kill, TP out. Usually if I'm doing this, I'll call for a teammate to break my dart from market, so he'll shoot the dart if it lands above me here. But usually like I'll just play here, wait, like listen for Sova utility, see if he's droning, and then try and peek out, catch a guy who's not looking at bottom mid because he thinks the drone is holding it for him. He gets shot in the side of the head. I TP out immediately. You can do a lot of really good aggressive TP plays with Chamber because you're pretty much guaranteed to always TP back to a safe spot. It's unlike Jet Dash where you're sort of like stuck wherever you are, and
oh my god, stop, bro, I'm stuck.
And you can dash just a distance. Like the TP on Chamber covers so much space that you almost always will get back to a very safe spot after you're done TPing. Another TP that I really like to do is, this is really good if you have an op, but I will put a TP here, and then you can put a TP back here. I like to play for that early pick. I'll either go across B main like this, kill somebody who's wide swinging, or I'll just like, as soon as the barrier drops, I'll slide in like this, play like right here, because nobody's expecting an opper to be posted right here. This is such a weird off angle. So I'll post right here, get my kill, and then I TP. And if they're rushing me, they're going to smoke CT and they're going to smoke market. And then I can see over this smoke for when they come out of B main. I take one shot and I just back up and fall off and I'm safe again. I have gotten so many 2Ks or like just good plays for playing this setup. It is very, very, very strong. A more passive thing that you can do is you can put like a TP in CT spawn to be safe, and then you can put one on top of here. It really just depends on how aggressive you want to fight off your trips. You could just play up here, wait for them to swing. You're going to need a trip probably either here where this is, or you could even do something like this just to cover your back. But you could play up here, hold lane, get a kill, TP out. Or if you're playing like super aggressive and trying to hold the bomb site, you can put the second trip, or you can put the second teleport back here, play on top of the box, you know, get a kill, TP to the back of site. Your teammates start throwing utility for you in order to help you get more kills. Maybe your Sova recons or an Astra puts like a smoke down for you to play around. You TP to backside and then you fight until you're dead. Or just long enough that you can delay them and let your teammates rotate and get out of the CT spawn in order to flood site, get in and support you on the bomb site. Something I want to reiterate from the last video that I did is when you are attacking with Chamber, the way that you want to think about TPs is like you can kind of think about it in phases. His TP is not super good for taking aggressive fights on this because you have to set them up in a way that like lets you take the fights, and the enemy will hear you if you put it down right when you're about to take a fight, so they know the fight's coming. The TP is very good for like going for early duels off of the barrier, right? So like say you want to swing cat with an op, you post here, you take your shot, you miss, or you get double peeked, you get a kill and then you TP out. Same thing with fighting bottom mid here. You can swing here, play, and then you have this first phase. There's like two phases of teleports. There's the initial peak phase with Chamber's teleport, and then there's post plant, right? Let's talk about some good post plant teleports that I like to do. This is a strat that I like to do when we're rushing B. Is I'll put a trip here to hold for the market flank, and then we'll rush B. I'll put my TP down here. I'll put a trip out like this as we're entering, because this trip will clear logs. So now we know we don't have to clear logs. It won't necessarily reach anybody here, but the trip will clear logs. We push into site, we clear all this, we get out to here, and then I put my second trip right here on the sidewalk. And what I like to do is I like to sit sidewalk right here, wait for this, because if they don't break this trip because there's nobody playing logs, then usually they won't see it. So what will happen is somebody will jump out of market, get slowed by this tripwire. I'll peek out, get the kill on them, and then I'll TP back into B main. I think I might have done this one a little bit too close. But I'll TP back into B main, and I'll play post plant from B main, and I'll play my life, and I'll try and live as long as possible to force the guys who are retaking the bomb site to come swing B main, kill me, fight me, make me like, and take me out of the equation so that they can like focus on pushing into the bomb site and playing a retake from bomb site. Same principle, you know. I'll put like something here, and then I'll have my second TP back in the bomb site. But like the thing with Chamber TP is that it's very, very good in post plant for living longer and forcing the enemies to deal with your positioning. They go, oh, there's all three are in sight. I'm in sight with them as Chamber. They go, oh, all three are sight. They start pushing sight. I get a kill. I TP out, and now all of a sudden I'm B main and I'm behind them. And now they have to look at two different angles, and they split their attention. So now the 2v3 that they're in is even more unmanageable, because now they have to take a 1v2 and a 1v1 between the two last players. So it just doesn't work too well. Same thing with A. You can put a TP down here. I like to again, So we talked about on B where with the rush, I like to just throw a trip out with B to logs. I like to just throw a trip out like this. And then if they try and push through this door smoke, if they swing through this door smoke, this trip will get them every time and they'll get slowed. So even if they come through and they get a kill, the slow will get them and then they'll get refragged or traded instantly. I like to throw this on the entry and then, you know, we can just play the teleport between A main, B main. You go for a kill here, boom, you TP out, and then you can just play post plant from this situation. Always think of chamber TPs in like multiple phases. It's the same thing on defense. Like I said, you have that forward setup to get your initial pick, and then you have your passive setup to play off your trap wires afterwards, or your whatever these are, your trademarks, I think they're called. I don't know the correct terminology for them. Last but not least, the last thing I want to talk about is people ask me to talk about when should you use your headhunter. And really, I only use this on eco rounds. It's like a mini guardian. It's very, very nice. I buy the bullets any chance that I can get on gun rounds, as long as I can still buy full utility next round. Chamber's kit is very, very cheap. 2 trademarks only cost 300 credits. So for 4,200 credits, you can get Vandal, full armor, and 2 trademarks. So that's all the utility that you need. If you get the headhunter as well, that's gravy. So I always am buying extra headhunter bullets whenever I need them so that I can use them on an eco round. I don't really use the headhunter too much on gun round, unless of course I get into a situation where I've sprayed all my bullets, then I have to pull this out as like a quick switch, because it's much faster than switching to your classic. This one just pops out instantly. As for when you should use the ult, I like to use the ult on, again, eco rounds, or if my economy is kind of bad and we already are trying to force buy, then you can use your chamber op on a force buy round. And then you say like your jet usually ops, but you have your chamber op, you could be like, hey jet, can you rifle this round? I have my chamber op. You can buy your op next round or whatever. It can just be a good way to boost the economy that you have. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up for the Ascent guide. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys learned something. Be sure to stay tuned. I'm going to be dropping more chamber map guides here soon. If you like this content and you want to see more, be sure to subscribe to the channel, drop a like. And if you have any more questions for me about how to play chamber, be sure to check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/bump. I stream every day from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.